Hello, and welcome back to Living with Five Autoimmune Diseases. Um, I'm getting better at not weighing my oxygen during the day, but I limit myself and I pace myself, especially when I'm talking. But I'm gonna go ahead and get right into this. This is the part two of five diet tip for people that have lupus. And the last time, when I left off, I think I was left off at where it was saying 22 to 28% of females should have um, 22 to 28 grams of fiber for each female, and if you're pregnant, it should be higher. And for men, it's 28 to 34 grams uh, of fiber a day. You know, and we should drink at least 48 to 64 gallons, 64 ounces, not gallons, ounces of water per day. So I drink, like I showed you before, I drink this 64, yeah, 64 ounces of water a day. That's what I drink a day. But the main thing about uh, when you have lupus and what you're eating, um, like I said in a previous video, that most of the people that I talk to and I ask them how, the ones that have been doing this for over 35 to 40 years, and they said, limit your stress. And so when I was doing my reading about the diet and stuff, that came up, it said manage your stress, get uh, enough sleep, and that will help with the depression and that will help with inflammation, and do moderate exercises also. So, you know, that stress is the number one killer for any sickness. And you don't even have to have sickness. Stress will kill you just by being stressed yourself to death. But if you um, have to take uh, vitamins like I do, I take the Central Vitamin Plus uh, for 50 plus, and I do uh, omega 3s, and I take uh, fluid acid also. But we have to put all this nutrient and stuff back into our body where these diseases is actually taking it away from our body. There are foods and stuff that you might not even know that you can eat that can help with the inflammation and inflammatory stuff like that. And I do have to have a lot of vitamin D. um, I take those, that's why I take the Centric Plus vitamins, because they have all that in there, everything that I need, but it don't have enough fluid acid that I have to take. So my doctor prescribes the fluid acid pills for me. But I do eat other things that will help. Is like sweet potatoes, carrots, red peppers, citrus fruits, nuts, and eggs. Um, those things give you your proteins and iron, everything that you need. Also to help with what you're going through. Especially for people that take prednisone, and you want to get help with the inflammation. Um, that is not going to take the inflammation away, but it will help along with your prednisone uh, to minimize some of the inflammation. But it didn't work for me. It might work for somebody else. But and if you don't cook with spices, learn to cook with spices. Spices are your friend. They definitely my friend. You know, um, The herbs, spices, I cook with them. And I did come up with my own blend of spices that I cook with that I can actually use with anything that I cook or eat. But my spices that I don't definitely use when I'm cooking meat and stuff like that is turmeric and cumin, and mix those two together. They are a powerhouse. They are a powerhouse, and they are good for information and different seasonings, chilies. If you like spicy food, I love spicy food, but I can't eat it. But you can use chilies, like chili peppers, red peppers, um, and I use the seasoning in when I make my chili. Um, I use when I make my chili, my soups, my stews, my stir fry vegetables, and I use it on my chicken, my fish. Those, those are the things. Those spices, those cumin, those seasonings. It gives your food flavor. To me, it gives it flavor, and if you treat it with the love and tender care, it'll taste delicious. You know, my grandmother used to always say, people always, "Oh, your food tastes so good. What's your secret?" She's like, "It's the love that I put into it and the seasonings that I use." So that's where I had to remember and learn to do. Cause like I said, I was on prednisone for a very long time, and now I take it where I was taking it for 7 days, maybe once or twice a month. But now I don't even have to take it. They put me on a different. They just put me on an antibiotic. But my daughter used to always tell me. She said, "Mom, you love your whatever that you eat. You love it, but you need to find a different way to prepare it." I was still cooking the Southern way, uh, with all the heavy butter and making it rich, rich, where I didn't need that. And I see that now, that I didn't need that richness to get the goodness of the flavor. So I actually looked up a Mediterranean diet, and I read into it and I liked it, and I seen it had a whole lot of different things. Now that it could help me with my immune system that I was going through. I'm like, okay, I give this a try. It was a struggle, but I had to wean myself off of eating rich soul food that I grew up on. So I started little by little eliminating stuff, and I changed from using a lot of lard and started using a lighter oil. I cut back on the butter. I changed my butter to Irish butter. Um, what else did I do? Oh, I limited the red meat I eat, and I might eat red meat maybe twice a month. My daughter limited me on my pork, and I told her pork is not gonna bother me if I prepare it right. And normally I marinate my pork before I actually cook it, so I might put it in a brine. I might put it, in a marinade, to help not have my blood pressure elevated. And I start, implementing, those other ingredients into with my food and stuff. And I'm like, oh, not bad. It tastes good. And I got to that practice of doing that every day to now is just nature to me. That I use my herbs and spices. I love fresh herbs. Um, Rosemary for one, thyme is the other one that I like to use a lot. Lemongrass, chives, stuff, different stuff. Now with the lemongrass, I normally use that in a marinade for myself because it's a grass. You can't digest grass. We are not cows. Okay, so I use mine as a marinade. Some people cook with theirs, and sometimes if I do cook with it, I use it as a seasoning. Then I take it out once I'm done using it. But that was it. But it has a wonderful flavor to it. To your if you add it with some fish, is or some any type of seafood. I tried seagrass with not seagrass, green grass. God, I can't even talk now. the With my food, it tastes a lot better. So I'll change that thought. But and they say that we shouldn't eat garlic or apple alfalfa sprouts. Uh, so we shouldn't eat those things. I don't, but with the garlic, I limit it the way I do my garlic in my food. I will, I have a portamosto where I grind my garlic and I beat it and I add my herbs and my seasoning in with the garlic and I make a paste that I can rub on my vegetables, on my meat, and then I do it that way. And it don't seem to bother me. Now, alfalfa sprouts, I don't eat those, but bean sprouts, I love them. I love them in a stir fry. I love them in fried rice. I love them in an egg fouillon, and that's where I put mine when I'm making them. But we still should limit, the sugar, the alcohol. Limit your alcohol and sugar intake. Um, if you have diabetes, um, you should watch that sugar. Uh, if you have liver disease, you shouldn't be drinking. I don't think so. If I had liver disease, I wouldn't be drinking. But if you do, limit your alcohol if you can, and stay away from saturated fats. It's possible. Trans fats, definitely. You know, um, I even tried the carbs, the no carb diet. It didn't work for me. So I tried the potato diet. It didn't work for me neither. But when I started with the Mediterranean of lifestyle of eating, the stuff that I was cutting out, I could still eat it, but I just had to prepare it a different way. Like my potatoes, uh, you know, I limit the sugars. I use honey, raw honey, and I I found I can get me some runny honey too on Amazon. Raw runny honey, I like that, and I use that in my tea, or if I know making a cake or something, and I want to make a icing for the cake, I use the honey. I Like I said, try to eliminate much sugar as possible because the sugar is not good for you, for us anyway. But if you drink alcohol, try to keep it minimal, to the minimum as much as possible. You know, and a lot of time the information comes from when your doctor them put you on medication. Certain medication give it make you retain water. You you know you swell up, and eating anti-inflammatory foods, it will minimize that flare up. Cause like I was saying the other day in my other video, my hands are not as swollen as what they normally be. They're a whole lot better, and my last treatment I had on my hands was in November of 2024. So, like I said, by me, getting my infusion antibodies and eating the Mediterranean, it helps me, and I have released the weight. And like I said, I still got 20 more pounds that I want to release, and I'll be at my weight goal where I want to be at, so that I will, you know, be there and feel good about who I am. I feel good now, but I want to get that extra because the summer is coming and everything. So everybody want to get out. I want to be able to wear my shorts, and look nice. I don't do beaches. I go to the beach, but I ain't get in the water. You know, um, it just I want to be able to enjoy myself. This coming summer, so that I don't have to, be worried about, oh, I feel so full, I'm so stuffed, this don't fit, that don't fit. I eat like this ever since 2000. At the beginning of 2019, I started eating the Mediterranean lifestyle. And like I said, I have released to where I want to get 20 more pounds and I'll be there. Cause I feel great where I'm at right now, but I know I can release another 20. But I'm going to say this because the Mediterranean, oh, excuse me, sorry about that. The Mediterranean lifestyle of eating, it's not a fast acting way of releasing weight. It takes overtime. And since I've been doing it, it have not came back. I'm continuing to move forward. When he put me on the prednisone, the first time since I had been off of prednisone since 2010, when he put me back on it, when I had pneumonia, I started picking up the weight again. And so when I went back and I told him, I said, you see, it was a difference when I was here 2 weeks ago and to now. And he's asked me something, so what happened? I'm like, you put me on prednisone. That's what happened. Because prednisone makes you hungry. Well, it makes me hungry. And when I'm hungry, as much as I try to fight to not eat, I still find something to eat. And I eat and I start retaining the weight. But once I stop taking the prednisone and finally get it out of my system completely, I know I'll start back releasing the weight, because right now I'm still at where I first started back taking prednisone, and that was the end of December. That he had put me back. He had put me on prednisone for 2 weeks, and this time, that during that time, I picked up 20 pounds that I had already released, and I was at my weight where I wanted to be. But now I picked that 20 pounds back up, so I'm gonna work at it and release that. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get there, but I'm not gonna rush it, and because I have got back into my routine of exercising. It's a small routine that I do to help me, be mobile in the morning, to get me up and moving. It has been a 1, 2, 3 years since I have actually been able to do my exercise, because I was having an issue with my neck, and they first I went to the surgeon and he said he didn't see nothing. And the next one I went to, he said that he could see something, but he wouldn't recommend me having this surgery. I'm like, okay. So he recommended me to go see a neurologist, and that's what I did. I went to go see a neurologist, and he did an X-ray. He came back and told me, he said, the where the nerve is pinching in your neck is on your spinal cord. That was at my C1, and that's under the base of your skull. And he said, in the way it's positioned, you got a lot of inflammation there, so it's pushing up against that, and that's why I was having all them shooting pains down my arms and stuff. So I like, okay. So the other surgeon, I went to see a no, I went to see a third, another neurologist. So I went to see. I got a second opinion on what the first opinion of the neurologist said. So I went and seen the neurologist, and he told me the same thing the first one told me. But the first one, he told me that, maybe it was my hair. Back then, I had locks that came to here, across here, on my head. And he told me maybe the locks was, my hair was too heavy for my head, for my neck. I'm like, okay. So what I did, I shortened them. That, and I was still having the pain. I'm like, okay, so what I'm gonna do? I end up cutting all my locks off. I restarted them last year, but I actually cut all my locks off. Was it 2004, 24? No, it was in 2023 when I restarted my locks. So when I talked to the second doctor, and he looked at me, he said, "Wasn't your hair longer when you first came here?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, because the other neurologist told me maybe it was my hair. He said, "No, it wasn't your hair." He said, "It's the nerve pinching up against, because it was inflamed." And he said that a lot of surgeons do not want to do surgery up under there unless they just have to. So he said, what I could do, I could put you on some medication that will help relieve the pressure on my neck. And I have to take that pill every day at 5 o'clock. I'm like, okay. And I've been taking it now for 3 years, and it seems to help. I don't have that pressure anymore. It took about 6 months for me to notice that, I wasn't having that tingling feeling in my hand, going down my arm and legs and stuff. It was unbearable. I mean, having nerve pain and then having rheumatoid arthritis, both of them is painful. And when you have rheumatoid arthritis right in the same area you have the nerve pain, that's double whammy. And that's what was going on with me, because my C1 is deteriorating. And I asked him, is there anything they could do about that? He said, if it gets to that point where it can, get to when my head be going like this, that's when they will have to put a rod in it to hold my head still, because that's what's in my wrist here. I have a rod coming from here all the way up to here. Yeah, where that scar at. So, and it holds my wrist in place, but I can still move my fingers and use them. But they said, where it's at, and it's deteriorating. But like I told them, I will deal with that when the time comes. But it's just the whole idea. What I'm saying is, start, looking up different fruits that you might like, that's in the same category, in the fiber category and everything, to keep, and start implementing some of those into your meal. Like with me, I love eating walnuts. I will sit and eat walnuts. That's omega-3. That's fatty acid right there, because walnuts are very oily. Brazil nuts are very oily, and I eat those too. And pecans. So, like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there that you can find to actually help you with your releasing weight or your dying, whatever way you see it. I call it releasing. A lot of people call it dying. But it will help. But just look into it and find out what you need to find out to help you, you know, because the things I just named out to you guys, those things are helping me. And you can give those a try if you like. But like I'm saying, with me, I go with what makes me feel good. And I actually felt did really good right now, other than the yarn I had, and I do apologize. Almost 26 minutes, and I have not coughed or got short of breath. So that shows you that my lungs are getting better for me to be able to not to wear the oxygen during the day. And like I said, I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not going to stress it. I will be making another video today, but I'm going to take an hour and a half break from this one here and give my voice a chance to rest. And again, I thank you guys for being here with me. If you all can just give me a like, share, or subscribe, and share my videos, and give a thumbs up, so the algorithm would know that okay, it can push my videos a little farther, because I have came a lot more with subscribers, and I do appreciate my new subscribers are being here. And I'd like to say you all have a blessed week and namaste.